Hi guys, this is the first of your videos on how to write a paper. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to do a literature search. It's a really important part of how to write a paper because depending on what you turn up, it'll influence the quality of your work. So you want to make sure you do a thorough job, but you don't want to get lost in a rabbit hole because you could keep going forever and ever. There's so much literature out there. So you have to be really focused, you have to know what you're looking for, and you have to know when to stop. I don't know how many of you have experience doing literature searches. If you do, then you don't have to watch this. But if you don't know where to start, I'm going to walk you through an example. Remember that pretend essay I was going to write about dogs eating grass? Let's do a literature search for that. Let me share my screen. Okay, so you go to our library, UBC library, and go to indexes and databases. We're going to use Web of Science. I always use Web of Science. I just have always used it. I think it's the biggest and the best personally. There's another one that's as big, Scopus, but I never use that one. So I'm not going to show you how to use it. So Web of Science. Okay. So core collection, that's the one we want. And we'll probably have to log in. I don't think I'm logged in right now. Oh, no, I'm logged in. Okay, first thing. So what field do you want? I usually start, if I don't know what I'm doing, I'm starting with topic. And here are some things that I've looked at in the past. You see, I use asterisks a lot because if I was looking for microbes, I didn't know what ending, I didn't want to exclude anything. So I often use asterisks. Microbrutal strategy. Again, I use an asterisk on that one. Anyways, we're not looking for that. We're looking for dogs and grass. Let's see what happens. Okay, there's a lot going on here. First of all, I like to organize my results based on, not relevance, that's the default. I like to do citations. So the ones that have the highest citations will be returned first because I feel, now that's a bias, absolutely a bias, but I have to bias these searches. There's so much going on in them. The ones that have the highest citations are the ones that were read and shared the most, right? And generally, it's a good indication of how good the paper is or how impactful the paper is. Not always the case, but it's a good general rule. You don't want to, there's so many papers in journals that are kind of suspect quality. You want to go with a journal that you know is good quality. And you don't know all the journals, so citation report is a good way to figure it out. Okay, grazing lawns, animals and herds, plant form and coevolution. Whew. American Naturalist. Well, I know that's a really good journal, but gosh, I think that might be a bit too broad for us. Looking like nothing is really good here. No. Yeah. So it's like, oh crap, that didn't work. So, because I said dogs grass. Well, that's a really dumb topic because it's going to search for dogs grass together. So let's just go dog and we'll do topic. Let's do grass. Let's see if this helps things. So we're just going to separate them for any results where they're together, but they don't have to be in the same search term. Okay, much better. So we separated the search term. So it's looking for not the dogs grass together, but dogs and grass in the same article. We get reduction in grass eating behaviors in the domestic dog, Canis familiaris, response to mild gastrointestinal disturbance. That looks awesome. But let's just do what I said before and do highest first and see. Oh, it's that McNaughton paper again. Oh, these are all the same papers that we saw before. Interesting. Okay, well then let's do relevance again. Okay, so this one looks good. You have to read, I mean, the way I go through, I look at the title, but then I look at these little abstracts. The aim of the study was to describe ultrasonographic features of grass lawns and soft tissue. Well, this is going to tell you how dangerous it is for when dogs eat grass lawns. You know, those pokey things that stuck in their stomach. I don't think we want to read that. This is grass allergies in dogs. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of it has to do with allergies. Now you can do a search to exclude allergies. I usually don't, but it might look like a lot of these have to do with dogs who get into trouble from eating dogs. Okay, well, let's look at this one. And what you want to also look at is you can't find any citations. Like this search is not a good search in my opinion, because we've hardly gotten any papers. But you look at what they cited, we look at who cited them, and you also look at related records. Those are really, really good things. So let's see who cited them. So these are going to be more recent papers. Gastric mucosal pathology in Belgian Shepherd sheep dogs, blah, 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 with this disease. Aggressive behavior, consumption of wild rice by Jag. Oh, that's interesting. That, because remember in my outline, I said I wanted to compare wild animals with domestic animals. This was looking at other wild animals, not dogs, but it doesn't matter. Many species of carnivore consume grass and fibrous plant tissues. That looks awesome too. Food habits of coyotes. That looks good. Do animals use natural properties to self-medicate? That looks awesome. Okay, so we're adding those to the marked list. I probably forgot to add this. If you don't add to the marked list, forget it. If you go to a new page, I think I forgot it on the first page, but that's okay. We know there's only that one paper. Okay, I want to go back. So those are the 7 newest papers. Let's go back to this one and let's see what they cited. Characterization of plant-eating dogs. That looks really good. High fiber diet responsive case in a poodle with long-term plant-eating. That looks ridiculous, but good. Gosh, this is a really tough topic to study. Looks like there's lots of room. Okay, we've got a few, right? Okay, we're going to add those to the mark list. And the last thing I want to do is I want to go to related records. Remember that one? Let's see what's related. This is what their algorithm thinks we're going to be interested in. Fecal quality in canines. Nope. Feather meal, digestive sensitivity, leaf swallowing, parasitic infection of a civet. Maybe if we get desperate. I mean, characterization of plant-eating dogs. I think we already have that one. That's why there's a star there. So, okay, so we've gone through what they cited, who cited them, and the recommended. This one looks so good, characterization. So I look in this, and then you can do the same thing for that. Go through their citations, go through who cited them. So this is what I mean. It's like a rabbit hole, but it's how you search out all the possible papers. Okay, so let's go see a mark list. I didn't mark everything that I would if this was a real search, but there it is. And you can either download, so you click the link and you can download them. Now, I don't know if any of you are using reference management software. I know some of it comes free as a UBC student. I don't use anything UBC offers. I'm supposed to use, oh gosh, Mendeley. I use Mendeley. It's a open access software organizer. Reference management software. I like it. It's good. It's fun. It's open. It's free. Lots of people use it. It's called Mendeley. It's really, really useful when you're making your reference list to format your references. Oh my goodness. If you try to do that manually by hand, it's going to take you hours. So I strongly suggest that when you, see this one they don't have. That's really, well, this isn't a really good one, but let's do this one. Food habits of both. That might see Southwestern Naturalist. That looks like a strange journal. Also, Belgian Journal of Zoology is strange. I mean, not strange, but unusual. I don't know. Applied Animal Behavior Science. That looks like something UBC might subscribe to, right? Each of these journals, the librarian at UBC has to decide if it's worth subscribing to. And sometimes you won't be able to get a journal, an article, even if it is Web of Science. Most UBC is pretty good. We have a ton of subscriptions. Okay, so then you can download the article. And there you go. What else do I want to say about this? Okay, what kind of paper? Let's look and see what I did. A good thing also is when you go into the publisher's website to download it, will also recommend some, which is also a good way to see it. Those ones don't look that great on this one, but that's okay. Okay, so let's see, what kind of article did we download? I think this one looks awesome. Characterization of planting in dogs. It probably tells us so much that we need to know. Sometimes you find an article that's like so good, so close to your original question. It's like, oh my goodness, I can just cite this one and nothing else. Don't do that. Whatever you do, don't do that. I know that it's a experimental study because there's a materials and methods, right? Often it's good to start with a review paper on your topic. If you're new to the topic, start with the review papers. It's another good source of references. Ultimately, what I want you to do for this assignment is find original primary research papers. Now, primary research papers are a paper like this one where they actually did a manipulative study, where they went out either in the lab or in the field or in a computer simulation, but they did an experiment and they analyzed the results and they presented them. I want you to go into the primary literature. So you can have some review papers, absolutely, but don't rely exclusively on reviews. The bulk of your references should be primary papers. Like, for example, if you are saying grass behavior in canines has been observed since the 1960s, or that's totally fake, but let's pretend that's what you want to say. Well, then you would have to reference that with who noticed it in the 1960s. You couldn't have the reference be something in the 2010s or 2020s because somebody obviously in 1960 wrote it down and published it because we know about it. So I want you to use the original, the most relevant citation for whatever you're saying. This is getting beyond the scope of this talk, though. I'll talk about referencing and citing in your text in a next video. Yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. Now, if we had been unsuccessful, like we're semi-successful in the search, I've got maybe 5 papers that look okay, and there might be more. I would probably go back, if this was a real search, I would go back and I'd be like, okay, that was okay, but maybe we can do so the family of dogs is Canidae or canine. I don't know how to spell it. Let's just do canine and Adaro, another topic. Grass. 2 is endophytes, health, and grass, right? Because sometimes I just have this, I have this knowledge that grass make fungal endophytes that can be antibiotics, and that's why sometimes dogs eat them. So let's see if that's okay. This is showing endophytes in grass. So you might actually want to have a section describing, oh, what kind of endophytes are in grass, right? And you might do a more focused search to see if there's any health benefits of this. There's going to be a ton of references on endophytes in grass. It's only got 67, it's not many papers actually for a search term, but that's because I added health in there. So you'd have to go through that. Anyways, you keep on going through different iterations of search terms that you think are good until you have enough papers. And then you have the fun of reading them. Okay, that's it. I hope you learned something about how to do a good lit search, and I will see you next week.